Hi, I'm going to paint this very nice looking painting of a scene of like a fantasy landscape. Now you see it, I've drawn, and this is the final painting. So the first is the foreground that I've painted, and there's a man looking and at the huge giant dragon over like the mountains in some tall uh, tall rocks, mountain like rocks, and this is the somewhat like a path towards these mountains, and I put some trees. mm, I'm going to play this speed paint video, and I actually took quite some time to paint all of these elements, and I've made a lot of layers where I have to group this layer for the foreground, the midground, the sky, and the dragon. But I'm still using the same painting method, so you can see here it's all different shades of red, and I blend in different variation of red for the mountains, though there's not much texture to this yet. And the mountains, I made it I've see some reference to make this kind of mountain shape texture, this blue color. And then for the mountains, I think I'm quite happy with how I paint this mountain. I also get this from some inspiration from an reference photo. So let's play the video. I'm going to show you how I'm paint this landscape fantasy dragon. First, I start off by sketching out the foreground, and I have rough sketch how I want the midground to look like, and then I continue to rough sketch the dragon. I just made like a simple shape form dragon, but it's still a nice looking dragon. And after that, I refine the draft mm, draft uh, draft drawing, and I make it all into one straight line. And then I continue to like position the dragon, and I hide the dragon. Next, I continue to refine the foreground image, which is the foreground drawing, which is the mountain, and there would be a person standing in these mountains. And I continue to refine the midground drawing, and I place a person on this foreground mountain. So I planned out the fixed colors that I would like to use for each of these, and I start painting the watercolor using a watercolor brush, different shades of red for the mountains. Uh, and I put a little bit of textures and some highlights towards the front of the mountains. I paint the person, I give it a shadow. I paint now continue to paint the midground mountain. And so I finally decide to make this kind of shapes. I testing out the mountain texture shapes, so I think, and this would be the best shape, mountain shape. Put in the textures for the mountains. And I'm continuing to paint the ground, and I make some kind of path, and I put some lights on the mountain. I paint in trees, and I paint some trees onto the ground, and enable the grid to give me idea how to position the trees. I continue to paint the sky. I keep it everything to red color and variation of red color. Then I continue to paint the dragon, which is also different tones, shades of red. I include in shadows on certain parts of the dragon body. I continue to paint the lights coming from the right corner of the page. That's how I paint landscape fantasy dragon